got to our first spot, and what we're doing now is just using side imaging to look around and see if we can find some barra in amongst snags, laydowns, those sorts of things. We're also making use of the CoastMaster chart and the depth highlight that we set earlier, just to hone in on those depth zones where we know the fish are going to be. So you can see here we've got a 30-70 split on our screen. So we've got that depth highlight in pink in that zone that we know the fish are going to be, 2.5 to 4.5 metres. We're just working over this hump, and we're looking at our side imaging to see whether we can see any barra and things like that. I'm just going to have a play with the side image settings. What we need to do is make sure the yellow is illuminated for side imaging. And I'm just going to play with our sensitivity and contrast a little bit, just to try and clean that image up a little bit. So you can see just by tweaking the contrast and the sensitivity, we're able to just sharpen it up a fraction. What we want to achieve is the bottom to be fairly dull so that the structure and the fish will stand out off that. And that's just by tweaking contrast a little bit. You can see if we back it off, it actually becomes a bit more faded. So we just pop that up, about 12 I think is about right. And then we just play with our sensitivity. I don't mind if it looks a little more dull, because it does enable the structure and any fish in the area to really stand out. One of the other things you'll notice with side imaging, it's really good at identifying different bottom densities, and these dull areas are softer ground and the brighter areas are harder ground. So if you're in a situation where you've identified fish that are holding more likely in certain bottom density, then you can really hone in on that. With the shadows, this is really important, and that identifies whether timber in this case is standing or laying down. You can see these lay down ones, the shadow off the timber is just small. That's a standing timber there. The ones that are vertical are the trees that we can see with our eyes, and when the shadow goes all the way off the screen, we know that that timber or that tree is going out through the surface because the shadows go right through. If you see some of these other bright dots and the shadow doesn't go right through, you know that's a shallower stump rather than a tree that's going right through to the surface and beyond. You can see we've got a few more little laydowns here, nice laydown over there. If you identify something, a nice big laydown, and you want to save it, just hold your finger on it and you can mark it as a waypoint. If you've got iPilot Link, you can actually select to go to it, and the motor will actually take you over and hold you over that structure. If you want to zoom in on an object, you just put your finger on it, push the plus button, and we can have a closer look at that object. Humminbird CoastMaster charts have the full Australian coastline mapped and surveyed. We also have many lakes surveyed and available on our cards, and they can be viewed on our website, humminbird.com.au. There's two types of cards. There's the standard card, which has all our contour detail and has all those depth highlight features. We also have a premium card, and there's an East Coast card and a West Coast card. And the only difference between the standard and the premium is the premium has aerial image overlay and also the shader relief function. So hopefully enjoy them, go check them out.